Yeah, so while we're looking at all the different ins and outs of what makes good content good and bad content not so good, looks like Luke might be able to show us some cool examples. I'm sure he's got a few in his pocket to kind of illustrate the topics we've been talking about a little bit.
Sure. As with most methods used in marketing, different tactics, different campaigns, tracking is not always tangible, especially when you're trying to build brand awareness and have a consistent message and image in your community. But what we have observed over the years are two major trends. And one is that bad content doesn't work. And so here's an example of what I consider to be bad content. It's not bad in the sense that, the words are spelled right. There's two different colors that are certainly contrasting well with the black background. But as I've alluded to it previously, is that this type of messaging is not being noticed by the traffic driving by. If you ask them to specifically look at this, they're going to be able to read it and they're going to be able to understand what it's communicating to them, but only because you told them to look at it. When you're trying to capture the attention in that short glance from somebody who's driving by at 45 miles an hour, they're probably not going to be looking for this display. And so by simply tweaking it with better content, you can now create an animated and more vibrant display that is moving in a way that can capture attention and keep people looking at it frequently throughout the week as they travel to school, to work, to the grocery store. Here's a good example right here of a particular ad. This is a custom ad that we've created for a local car dealership. And it's just a now hiring ad, but you'll notice, as I've alluded to, there's great contrast in the colors. There's less than 8 words, and the words are large enough so that they're easy to read on an outdoor display. And then the most important part is that eye-catching transition. That's not your typical PowerPoint fade or wipe. And so bad content does a few things. If you don't take the time to change your message frequently, if you don't take the time to have a great message, you're really telling your customer don't care much about them. And that's a powerful message, even when it's a negative one. And so bad content doesn't work. And when the aesthetics of your content are poor, in addition to the poor message or lack thereof changing it, your potential customers will not lock in on your display. Your sign will be drowned out by the hundreds of other messages and signs along the street. You're not going to cut through the clutter, and you will not be building that regular audience that you can communicate to on a weekly, daily, hourly basis. Now, great content, on the other hand, drives retention. The goal here is to retain customers, build new relationships, and keep them engaged with your sign in their daily interactions while driving your street. We have a large number of auto dealerships that we provide both template and custom content services for. And we've seen that 4 out of 5 auto dealerships have been able to track considerable foot traffic growth when they used focused promotions only on their digital displays with a specific marketing campaign. And so if you use this tool correctly, you can run certain messages and certain campaigns that will allow you to track activity, track engagement, and track sales. And so if you're putting this into your full campaign for a month or a quarterly campaign, if you use this in conjunction with your other tools, you can track it and you will see considerable changes in growth if you're using the right message and you're using the right aesthetics. One other story that I like to refer to from as a case study. There's a local parish in our town that is using our product and services for the first time this year. And they have an annual parish event, like a community event where they have food and they have a bazaar and they do some other things. They saw a 20% increase this year as opposed to last year in attendance. And when I reflected with them upon that after the event, they did make a considerable effort to focus the message for that event 2 to 3 weeks before, and they made it consistent. So there was only like 2 or 3 messages at once. And that's one thing I haven't talked about yet today. Don't put 50 messages on there, because you're not going to get that one strong message, top of mind awareness thing through unless people see it 6, 7, 8, 10 times a week. And so we encourage them to run that parish event advertising 2 out of 3 rotations and do it consistently for 2 to 3 weeks before the event. Now, there was most likely some other factors that led to that 15-20% growth, but I guarantee you the LED display had a lot to do with 12 to 15% of that. And so having the right message, using it at the right time, and then being consistent and loading your display up with those 1 or 2 key messages will drive growth and retention of the information you're trying to present.